Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and thank you for tuning in. Carnivores postulate about a so-called vegan agenda, while seemingly making it their mission in life, or at least here in the interwebs, to obsess and pour vitriol over our community, all in attempts to destroy the movement. The vegan agenda is indeed made to sound quite nefarious, like some means of population control with the end goal of world dominance for someone or some group, such as a one-world government. This video is, at least in part, a quick response to that conspiracy theory, but I also hope that it will be generally informative and motivational, especially for any vegan activist or advocate who may end up watching. So do let me know what you think after watching. First, I want to point out recent news such as the EU proposing a food labeling regulation that would require veggie burgers, for example, to be renamed veggie discs, a regulation which had passed with an 80% approval rating. The reason given for this regulation was, and I quote, "People need to know what they are eating." And in Mississippi, it was recently made illegal, yes, illegal, for vegan and vegetarian food companies to use terms like burger or bacon on their products, out of fear that it will cause customer confusion between meat alternatives and actual meat. Anyone noticing a trend here? I'll elucidate in a moment. Furthermore, something similar has happened in Arkansas with their recent Arkansas Act 501, also known as the Truth in Labeling Law. A law which has prompted both Tofurky and the ACLU to sue the Arkansas Bureau of Standards. What all of this tells me is that if there really is some sort of agenda, it certainly ain't on the side of the vegans. In fact, the powers that be appear to be very much working against the vegans, not in cahoots. It also tells me that the government officials must think the people under their jurisdictions are really fucking stupid. Listen, if you go into a store and you see this product, for example, that very clearly displays the words plant-based ground and plant protein, but you still believe that you'd be buying a meat product, then you possess a level of dumb that is beyond any hope of repair. Especially if you simply turn the product over, you'll see nothing pertaining to meat among the list of ingredients. Now, for my own sanity, I refuse to believe that the average American who I share land and air with is actually as stupid as the government must think they are. But back to agendas. Why can't the vegan agenda be as simple as trying one's best to avoid harming, commodifying, and exploiting sentient animals wherever possible and practicable, as stated so very clearly by the Vegan Society? In any case, I came across a news article about 2 weeks ago that will likely piss off carnivores and anti-vegans alike, as it flies right in the face of their own efforts. The article shines some light on current consumer buying habits with regards to plant-based burger sales, such as Burger King's Impossible Whopper and White Castle's Impossible Slider, both of which use the Impossible Burger by Impossible Foods, which is pictured here, as their base. The news article references a recent press release published by the NPD Group, which is an American market research company that has been in operation since the mid-60s. What the NPD Group found was that plant-based burger orders were up by 10% from the previous year. The data also shows that 95% of these plant-based buyers had also purchased a beef burger within the past year. What this demonstrates is that a chunk of the US population is attempting to include more plant-based protein into their diets, despite consuming meat. And the reasons cited by the NPD Group were concerns for animal welfare and how meat products are brought to the market, sustainability, and what they perceive to be healthier nutrition. What's more, in a story just published by Reuters, the brand Beyond Meat's shares have been trading up 3%, and they've surged over 780% since the IPO in May. Furthermore, net revenue grew by $67.3 million in the quarter ending June 29th, which is about 24% higher than Wall Street had predicted, and they expect it to rise to $240 million before the end of 2019. That's quite impressive growth for a vegan food brand, and I am sure it is propelled by Beyond Meat's availability at many restaurants, including major chains. But while vegans and vegetarians have certainly contributed to the growth of plant-based alternatives, remember that we only represent a small percentage of the US population. 3% to be precise, at least here in the US, according to a 2018 Gallup poll, which equates to 9,816,000 people who identified as a vegan in the US as of 2018. And while I obviously advocate for full commitment to veganism, it is at least nice to see that many people are indeed lowering the demand for animal products using their purchasing power, while subsequently increasing the demand for plant-based alternatives, and as such, the supply. That is at least a step in the right direction. It is nice to think that people may actually be listening to what vegans have to say, even if they are not fully on board with veganism as a lifestyle, at least not yet. It means that something we are doing is working on some level. This tells me that we vegans should continue to advocate and educate, that we are clearly getting through, even if it may appear to be slow, but we are still getting through nonetheless. I feel that we should let this data serve as an inspiration rather than viewing it as a glass half empty or some such. In my opinion, we should be leading by example, and that of course means setting a good example, an example that people would want to follow. In my opinion, following unhealthy fads such as high carb, low fat, or fruitarian, and looking worse for wear because of it, is not setting a good example. Looking and acting like a psychotic skeleton with an eating disorder that is pissed off that he wasn't cast in The Nightmare Before Christmas is not setting a good example. And our behavior and or methodologies are very important too. In other words, how we go about advocating can be very efficacious or destructive. For instance, publicly acting like an insufferable twat who forgot their meds is not setting a good example. And I've seen this sort of shit constantly on social media. For instance, publicly wishing death or other nasty outcomes on people who eat meat. Yeah, that's not setting a good example and may actually be illegal depending on where you live. So, in summary, I advise that you look and be healthy. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be jacked like a German tank. But at least don't look as though you're knocking loudly on heaven's door, for fuck's sakes, all whilst bragging that you haven't brushed your bloody teeth in 2 fucking years. Also, act sane and mature. Be as rational as possible. Educate rather than threaten. And this means you'll need to educate yourselves first. There is a lot of hippy-dippy nonsense circulating the vegan community. The sort of shit that will get people asking what you've been smoking, rather than asking you for more information about your diet and lifestyle. Anyhow, leave your thoughts and comments below, and don't forget to like and share this video if you found it interesting, especially if you think its message should be heard. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you have not already, and press the bell button for notifications and check back here weekly. All 3 avenues will help ensure that you do not miss any new content from me. Furthermore, check out the video description for links to my products and services, as well as my affiliate links such as Amazon, and my Patreon and Subscribestar pages, and other ways that you can show your support to me and my channel if you genuinely enjoy and get use from what I provide here. And that includes an array of my science-based training and nutrition ebooks, which can help you get results like those seen on my clients pictured here. And for just 1 week, if you use the coupon code GETMEFIT at checkout, you will receive 30% off any one of my ebooks, even the ebook bundle, which already saves you $13.90. Again, that code will only be active for a week, so don't hesitate. Really, there are so many ways that you can show your support. Remember, I am almost entirely demonetized, and YouTube rarely promotes my work any longer, so I must rely on you, my viewers, to keep going and growing. So if you'd like to see me continue actively producing content, your support is very welcomed and much appreciated, especially as I inevitably need to replace or upgrade my equipment and software to aid in creating these videos. Anyhow, thank you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.